Good morning, Maya Peabak. Here's the plan. So many new things today. What could possibly go wrong?
Something new this morning. Plastering this catch basin on the outside, and I think shortly to follow on the inside. And yeah, okay, it's been done with all the other catch basins, you've seen it, but not this one. That's new. Something new this morning. The builder and my beautiful Asawa discussing kitchens and ceilings. And yes, I know, we've had discussions on this before, and we've seen my Asawa talking to the builder before, but not today. It's new today. Something new this morning. Singing Rico, and Yves are working on gypsum board to finish these sections of the slightly lower ceiling in the carport. And yes, I know we've seen this kind of stuff before, but not finishing this. Am I stretching a bit today? Reaching for new things? No, they're really new. Something new this morning. Mr. Rene working on this decorative feature, and it is new because it's no longer one flat surface. We've gone back somehow to being the ridged kind of finish that we have on the other section. It was flat before, it's ridged now. That's new. Something new this morning. I can't get in there to the storage room, but I did look at the batteries and the system this morning. The batteries at about 7:30 were only at around 26%, and we did have all the pool equipment switched off overnight, so that has been run down purely on the power draw from the small house. And yes, I know we've looked at batteries before, but one thing that I hadn't appreciated was that actually this morning that meant that most of the power that was being used to supply power to that small house was coming from the grid. It was a small amount, but it was mostly, a bit more than 60% or thereabouts, was coming from the grid. I need to talk to the supplier about this. What can we do, if anything, to try and reduce that grid reliance? Yeah, I've been stretching so far calling things new, but this is genuinely new. Paint going on the ceilings. This is, I'll show you the container. Latex, flat latex paint. And there will be 3 coats of this going on the ceilings. There you go. For those who are patient, new things come. Specifically for Steve L, who said he's fed up with skim coat. He wants to see paint dry. Steve, here you go. I didn't appreciate, but yesterday they put the first coat of that paint on this ceiling. So I'll just stand here for a few seconds and you can watch it continue to dry. How's that? Is that better? I said yesterday that they were going to dose the pool with another batch of chlorine. They didn't. The chlorine actually only arrived back here quite late in the day. It is a little odd, but apparently one of the consequences of the war in Ukraine is that the supply chain for chlorine here has been interrupted, and it's actually quite difficult to find. So by the time they got back, it was a little late. Glenn from the pool team was here this morning. I don't actually know. I'll find out whether he has added chlorine today. And I also want to find out, once chlorine is added, do you have to wait before you can go back into a pool? We'll try and come back with an answer on that in a little while. We have this morning another conversation going on about the depth of the well and what we can do to try and get cleaner water. So this, the gentleman in the white shirt, is one of my beautiful Asawa's uncles. Now, everyone's an uncle here. You never quite know whether that's a direct uncle or whether there's one step removed. But he has dug a well for us previously. So we're just trying to explore our options here and get second, third opinions on how deep we might have to go, what size pump we might need. So that's what this discussion is about. Something new this morning. Trying to fix the digerator again. It's been out of action for quite some time. Apparently there is a hole somewhere in the hydraulics. We need your help. Andreas Nybak, I hope I said that right, put in a comment and asked, what kind of tree is this one with the kind of, as he described it, the peacock kind of appearance, the yellow foliage down low and then higher up the spreading fronds. Obviously it's some kind of palm tree. Does anybody know what kind of palm tree this is? Andreas is looking for interesting plants for his build that is going to be going ahead later on. So, does anybody know what kind of tree is this? We've got a comment from Rob Rhodes, who said in his understanding these jets should be normally 1 to 2 feet below the top level of the water and pointing to, as he described it, the 4 o'clock position. He's asking, can anybody confirm that or correct him if we think he's wrong? So, does anybody know? What is the optimal level for jets like this? Now, obviously, we can't go deeper, we're done. But for future builds, it would be helpful if anybody could give us some advice on that. Larry, if you're watching, if you've got any thoughts on it, that would be marvellous. But anybody have any thoughts on this? It's just after lunch. And Manny and Oliver, who between them can normally fix just about anything, still struggling to get the digerator to come to life. The ceiling in the carport is dizzy pill poppers complete. Mr. Rene still working on the decorative beams. I don't really know what to call them, but that's what he's doing just here. Cutting to size. At this part of the decorative stuff, they've now done cutouts for both, I think, for lights and for just power outlets. At the north side, Singing Marvin, just waiting for a delivery of plaster, which is just being prepared right now to carry on with that catch basin. And once again, take a dizzy pill. Original Rico, trying to clean up some of the mess that's been made down along this side where piping has been put in. This is new. They've removed the PVC panels in George's room. We didn't like them. Should I have listened? Oh, never mind. Fairly easy fix to put this into a slightly different appearance. Owen is in the corridor upstairs, putting on paint, still working on the ceiling. So from where I'm standing, heading down the centre, that's mostly done, at least for the first coat. As a special treat for Steve L, here's another look at paint drying. Here we have our multitasking engineer on clean-up duty. Here in, whose is this now? This is now, oh, Alex's room. We did forget this morning to ask Paul Man Glenn whether there is a period of time after adding chlorine that you shouldn't swim. So I think, just to be completely on the safe side, we'll probably stay out today and hopefully remember to ask him tomorrow. The bell's just gone and we've just had a delivery of small children. I don't think they're going swimming, but we'll see later on. Well, I'll see later on. You probably won't. The digerator has moved. It did come to life. I'm not sure it's fully functional. We'll probably see it in action tomorrow. Singing Marvin continued to work on catch basins. That's exciting. An original Rico carried on with plastering all down the base of this wall. He's got all the way down to the far end. It may be hard to believe, but I did finally get to Wilcon. So we passed on the measurements for the sink to go in here. I imagine there'll be work done on this tomorrow. We're back in George's room, where they took out the PVC panels earlier on, and that has now mostly been replaced with gypsum board. They've done a little bit more than half, 3/5, let's call it. In Sabrina's room, the front of the house on the northeast corner, more second skim coat has been put up. Still areas where we only have one, including, in fact, most of this wall, but a lot of it now does have that second coat. In the upstairs hallway, more painting of the ceiling. I think still only on the first coat. I imagine they'll only try and do one a day and then let it dry. That would be what I would expect, but again, as always, what do I know? The next task for us is to find tiles, floor covering, for all of the balconies and all of the bathrooms. We have the kind of design, the basic design of the bathrooms, so won't probably get a chance tomorrow. I'm back on visa hunting duty, but the day after I think we're going to go looking for tiles for both balconies and bathrooms. And my guess is, because the design for all the bathrooms is roughly the same, we'll have the same tile in all the bathrooms and the same but different tile on all the balconies. That is the end of day 227. Grandson Lexus, very desperate to go for another swim. So desperate, he's prepared to do a bit of pool cleaning for us. We'll have to bear that in mind in future. As son Jack told you this morning, so many new things. Yeah, okay, a lot of them were a stretch to call them new, but they were newish in a couple of cases. Maybe more really new stuff tomorrow. See you then.